Arrests for disruption. Late start in some voting centers with election in some areas called off. That's the story of the district level election taking place across the country.
On Ghana Remembers, we look at government's unfulfilled pledge to make the position of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives an elective one.
Also this afternoon, Parliament may have to get at least 183 of its members to compel President Akufo-Addo to sign Anti Witchcraft Bill into law, following the Speaker's indication he strongly disagrees with the President's position.
And later, the Catholic Church stirs controversy with new directive allowing priests to bless same-sex couples. You know that drill, our top stories, details to follow. I'm Keminni Amanor.
And I am Mawuena Egbeta. News Central starts right now.
This hour, an Accra High Court has dismissed a request by the National Communications Authority asking to be exempted from Media General's case challenging the National Media Commission's push to have Onua TV's license suspended. The court ruled that the NCA is a proper party to the case. Let's have a conversation on the back of this breaking story. Joseph Akablay is my colleague. He's here with me in the studio. Tell us a bit more, Joseph, about the story we're hearing now.
And so we know that the matter ended up in court because the NMC had written to the National Communications Authority asking that it suspend the license of Onua TV. We know that Onua TV are taking the view that they could not issue such a directive without following due process, in that they ought to give Onua a fair hearing if any such complaint had been received. One of the parties in the case was the National Communications Authority, because lawyers for Onua TV and Media General took the view that they were necessary to the case because they are the organization that have the mandate to suspend authorization under appropriate circumstances. And so they were joined in this particular matter. Lawyers for the NCA entered an appearance and raised an objection that they wanted to be struck off as a party in the case. Their argument was to the effect that they are not taking any practical step which make them a party to the necessary actions that have taken place, and so they should be exempted. But lawyers for Onua TV took the view that, look, the correspondence that had taken place between the NMC and the NCA meant that the person who was going to carry out that directive was the NCA. And secondly, NCA under law has the mandate to suspend authorization under appropriate circumstances. So that was the argument that was advanced by lawyers for Onua TV and the Media General. And the High Court has agreed with that particular view and dismissed the case that has been, the request that was made by the NCA asking that it be taken off this particular case.
I see. So what happens next?
For now, it means that the NCA remains a part of the case. The case is back in court on 17th of January 2024. And so they would have to go through a normal process, enter an appearance. If they have to file responses to any matter that has come up, they have to file responses. And we know that the substantive issue that this case centers about is whether the NCA, the NMC for that matter, can take such an action against a media organization without following due process in terms of allowing the opportunity to be given a fair hearing to respond to any matter that has come up. So that is the key aspect of this case that will be determined. And so if you are just joining, breaking news this hour is that the High Court has dismissed the case, a request by the National Communications Authority asking that it is exempted from this case that has been filed by Onua TV against the NMC and the NCA. I
see. For those who are hearing this case for the first time, give us a bit of a background on this.
And so we know that a complaint was sent to the NMC. In between that, about certain conduct that had taken place on Onua TV. In between that, the next thing that we saw was a letter, various correspondence, but the penultimate one which led to this particular legal action had asked the National Communications Authority to suspend the authorization, i.e. the license that allows Onua TV to operate. It was at that point that the Onua TV group took the view that you can't take such an action without giving the team a fair hearing. At least if there's a complaint of any sort, given an opportunity to respond to it at your level, after which you decide which steps to take. And so it was after that back and forth that the Onua TV group decided to take the matter to court. And like I indicate, they took the action against the NMC and the NCA, and now the court is saying that the NCA will remain a part of the case because of the correspondence that are taking place that involve the NCA.
And we know there have been varied condemnation on the action of the NMC and the NCA. Talk to us about that.
A number of media watchers had made a point that it is some of these actions that raises issues about the press freedom, and we know that even 2 weeks ago when we discussed the press freedom ranking, we talked about how Ghana had stagnated in terms of improvement, virtually at the same score level over the period. And some of the media watchers had pointed to such occurrences to make the point that, look, the position of authorities should not be to clamp down on the media, but should rather always seek to engage and try to understand what happens, rather than come hard at them, making it difficult for people to freely express themselves and do their work. But those are just the general comments that have come from media watchers. But in terms of what is in court, borders largely on whether or not the NMC followed due process in issuing that directive. And that is a matter that we are saying that the NCA, per the court's directive, remains a part to the case, and the matter is back in court on January 17, 2024.
Indeed, thank you so much for sharing insights on the subject matter. Joseph Akablade there, he joined us on, the subject matter that an Accra High Court has suspended the NCA's request to be removed from the case between Onua FM, Onua TV and the NCA and the NMC as well. The proper case, as you heard, will be heard next year.
Staying in the courts because state prosecutors have discontinued the case filed against spokesperson of the New Force movement, Shaila Ali. She was accused of using a forged document to secure a residence permit. My colleague, Lord Edward, he's at the courts for us, is joining us this afternoon with a bit more details. Lord, any idea why the case has been dropped?
Assistant Commissioner of Immigration, Adolf Abuaje Asenso, told the court that he had received instructions to withdraw the case against the New Force movement spokesperson, Shaila Ali, and that he'll return to the courts at the appropriate time. Now, lawyer for Shaila, who is a member of parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, told the court that he had filed a motion at the Human Rights Court and was pleading with the NIB or the BNI to have her phone, which is in their possession, released. Now, after all this engagement, the court discharged Shaila Ali, but things took a rather interesting turn because as she exited the premises, there were armed immigration officers together with a truck and a bus, and she was whisked away from the premises here. Now, this development infuriated her lawyer, Francis Xavier Susu, and he's been speaking about how things turned out, and he's not been very happy about what's happened. Let's take a listen.
That the court, the charges against the person they dropped. The charges are dropped, the person is discharged, and then you banded the person as if it's a common criminal here. If you really want the person in your office, from there we'll come to the office. Last week when the court said we should be there 3 times, we were there every single day. So if you knew you were going to do this, what kind of disgrace is this? What kind of international disgrace is this? I mean, are we living in a democracy or we are living in a jungle? Are we living in a democracy or we are living in a jungle? Honestly, I'm sincerely disappointed. Because you, the immigration officers, came here and said that her permit has been revoked. If you have revoked her permit, where is the evidence of the revocation? You should have brought it to the court and show it to everybody. Then we would then say that, okay, you have revoked her permit, so you can take it. You didn't do that. Then you banded the person as if he's a common criminal and send her away like that. Why do you behave this way? Why do you behave this way? That is complete assault. It was completely uncalled for. It's completely uncalled for. And I think that, look, we must really watch it. Where we are going, I think that we are sending the wrong signal to the international community. After all, there are Ghanaians who are also in other countries, right? If your citizen is treated this way in another country, will you be happy? Do you know the number of Ghanaians who are abroad? Do you know the number of Ghanaians in Belgium? If your citizens are treated this way, will you be happy? Well, I'll leave it.
That's Francis Xavier Susu's lawyer for Shaila Ali. And earlier I had us speak to my colleague, Lord Edward. What we are gathering this afternoon is that there could be the likelihood that she's repatriated out of the country, reasons why the charges have been dropped. Lord Edward is on that beat for us. As and when there are new details, we'll bring that to you.
Right now, however, we'll take you to Parliament because the House may have to get at least 183 of its members to compel President Akufo-Addo to sign the Anti Witchcraft Bill into law. Now, this follows the Speaker of Parliament indicating he strongly disagrees with the President's view that the proposed law can only be passed as a law sponsored by the executive and not a private member's bill. Duke Mensah-Poku is in Parliament for us. He now joins us with more on this. Duke, good afternoon to you. Any idea when exactly the House will take this decision?
Well, so it's not clear exactly when in terms of the specifics, but Parliament has no choice. The House rises for the Christmas festivities on the 23rd. That's the upcoming Friday, the 22nd of December, because that's when Parliament on recess, and before then Parliament will have to take a stand on this matter. The Speaker himself has indicated that he will be delivering a lengthy version of his views, his reasoned legal view as to why he's against the President's position on whether to assent to this bill into law or not. So we don't know clearly when, but obviously it's going to be in the course of the week when Parliament and by extension the entire nation hears the views of the Speaker, the counter view of the Speaker for that matter on this issue.
Indeed, Duke, we know that the Speaker has been clashing with the Majority Leader over this matter as well. How did that happen, and what could be the solution really?
Well, so the Speaker, after reading the President's memorandum to Parliament stipulated by the Constitution, indicated clearly on the floor of Parliament that he disagreed with the President, and the President's views on the matter were tragic, and he disagreed with the President vehemently, opposed to his views on these important bills. Now, this is something that the Majority Leader felt slighted by. He felt that the Speaker had not given the required decorum and the required respect to the President in relation to the matter. Shot up on his feet to make his concerns known, but the Speaker will not give him audience. He will not allow him. So it then more or less like a shouting match. The Majority Leader shouting, and then the Speaker also going ahead with the business of the day, asking for the votes and proceedings, mentioning the pages that are to be considered. Yeah, and once in a while these things happen. There has been run-ins between the Speaker and the Majority Leader, but some way, somehow, old buddies, old friends, they say die hard. They find a way to patch up and move on.
You don't even know what I'm going to say. Majority Leader, you are not the first timer in this House. I know. Yes. Yes. I'm not the first speaker. Yes. Please resume your seat. Mr. Speaker, votes and proceedings of Saturday, 16th December 2023, page 1. What is this preemptive strike? Page 2. The Speaker, the Majority Leader. What is this? Page 3. What is this that you are seeing in Ghana's Parliament? Page 4. What is this? Page 5.
Duke, that was bizarre and interesting to watch at the same time. I know you spoke with the Majority Leader after this. What did he tell you regarding this matter?
Yes, he says that the Speaker has to give the due respect to the President. It's in his purview, it's well within for him to disagree with the President, but he should do that in decorous language. It shouldn't be visceral, as he says. That's how he describes the Speaker's comments, and that for him, you can agree, but don't front and don't insult the President, if you like. That's what Chairman has been saying, but the lines are clearly drawn. Parliament, if they want to compel the President to sign these bills into law, would have to pass a resolution backed by 2/3 majority of the House. That's over 181 MPs, 183 for that matter, to get the President. Then they will force the President's hand to sign the bill into law as stipulated in Article 106, 106 of the 1992 Constitution. So clearly, let's see if the leaders will work to get this issue resolved, or to accept the authority of Parliament in the between the Parliament and the Presidency. But from the way Chairman Sambonsu is going, that's the Majority that is going, it looks like it may be difficult for him to support this move the Speaker wants to undertake with the majority behind this move. And if that doesn't happen, it will be difficult to marshal the 183 numbers needed to force the hand of the president to sign these bills into law.
The Speaker says he disagrees with the President's opinion. That is legitimate. If the Speaker disagrees with him, it's legitimate. And he could have ended at that I disagree with the opinion given by the President. And maybe I also come with my own understanding of the law. That is it. But you also saw and heard the rather visceral language of the Speaker. I thought it was most unfortunate. I thought it was most unfortunate for a Speaker, and I get up to be identified. I was just going to say that, well, I thought the communication is to the entire House. Because the bill was passed by the House, not the Speaker. The Speaker, it was who allowed the bill to be introduced in Parliament. So he has a role to play by admitting that the bill should be passed by Parliament. But actually smithing the bill, passing the bill, is Parliament. So the communication is also to us. Now, the Speaker, after reading it, then goes on his own frolic and attacking the President. And I thought that was most unfortunate.
Majority Leader Chairman Sabonsu addressing the press there. Earlier, you had me in a conversation with our parliamentary correspondent, Duke Mensapoko.
To some more developing stories this afternoon, a leading member of the NPP and managing director of the state transport company is urging the special prosecutor to probe the allegations of impropriety in the contract handed out to SML for revenue assurance. Latest details in a fourth estate investigative documentary has highlighted how the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Finance Ministry handed out contracts to Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Speaking on TV3's New Day, Nana Komia, who revealed a planned response by the Finance Ministry, said the OSP must independently probe the issue to safeguard the public purse.
And yet the managing director himself cannot assure himself of the dealings of the company. It calls for a major inquiry. You asked me what government's response is. I understand the Ministry of Finance would be responding later today, and I'm sure they would also try and come up with their side of the story, and that is normal. Any institution that is accused of wrongdoing and potential loss of public monies should come out and present their side of the story. But really, that should not end the matter. You asked Manasseh, and he confirmed that he has petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think it's the right way to go. And even whatever responses the Ministry of Finance will come with, an investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, standing in between the two stories and doing an independent investigation, would then assure us of where the truth lies and whether there has been impropriety and whether public monies have been lost. So I'm looking forward to the response by the Ministry of Finance, and I'm also looking forward, and I support any independent investigation that will go on into this matter.
That's Nana Komia. When we return, district level elections is on the front
taking place all across the country.
Exactly. Monitoring this morning didn't look like the enthusiasm was up there. We'll try and get details after this break.
We'll be on the ground. Don't go away.
It's time for golden season. Time to try your luck. The rules are simple. You can place bets on any sports event. Get promotional tickets. Take part in prize draws. What's the season? It's golden season. Time to try your luck. Use the promo code to get your welcome bonus.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gambling can be a
luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. Luckiest star 712 hash.
How to play and win mobile interface. Step 1. Simply dial *712 hash. Step 2. Select 1 to buy the ticket for self. Or select 2 to buy the ticket for others. Step 3. Buy a random ticket or a preferred ticket.
Let's go.
Step 4. Enter purchase amount and confirm. Step 5. Authorize payment and approve transaction. Step 6. Congratulations. You receive a text confirmation of your payment. I am Mr. Good Luck and I'm on a mission to spread luck all around.
Doctor, nurse, baba, driver, bouncer, friends, teacher, banker. Star 712 hash. You could be the luckiest.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me kwan point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me enu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama no nura ene ne ho eden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you. Of Acrobato. Hello. Hey, ohwehwe what chair. Okay. A free bra wo di end point what dance. Am me call you no. Me Joseph Semana nkoyie and person na my emre nyina na magina sebema na me be fear for there the one dey nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
The canker of teenage pregnancy remains a threat to girls' education and empowerment. In fishing communities, poverty exposes vulnerable girls to predators who use fish as bait to attract teenage girls.
No kwase obuntumu de nam e de poba
ya puduma no de nam na edachi seconds oduma na wada na adu.
TV3 throws a searchlight on cases of sexual exploitation as some fish folks lure girls with fish in exchange for sex.
And ma ka CSA so the ban motor bi nam ni bia ya dwan.
Join us on Wednesday, December 20 as we raise awareness about how some teenagers are bearing the brunt of sexual exploitation.
Who are those getting the girls pregnant? These are elderly men living in our communities.
Sabo fana no pianam musu me here bibi wona maka cha bla sababa me do boto de na madawodo na wala so akuma to.
This documentary is funded by the US aid from the American people. Book a date on Wednesday, December 20 at 9 p.m.
Competition. If I like Mike Tyson, me dance like Michael Jackson, me kill a lion like Samson. Join the all-new Inter-Schools Talented Kids competition this season, calling on institutions, parents, and individuals who recognize the talent in children aged 6 to 12. Auditions will take place at the Aviation Social Center on December 23rd in Accra, Akuma FM in Kumasi on January 9, and Connect FM in Takrade on January 11. Don't miss this opportunity to make your school proud. Talented kids, free to play. I know I can. I know I can. Be what I wanna be.
Welcome back to News Central. Let's now take you on that tour across the country, and we'll start from one area where the polls have been suspended, the SokobanDban electoral area in Kumasi. This is due to the unavailability of electoral materials, leaving potential voters unhappy. Ibrahim Abubakr went to the area and now reports.
So the district level election for SokobanDban electoral area here in the Ashanti region has been rescheduled to Wednesday, December 20, owing to the non-readiness of some electoral materials. Now what is happening this morning is that the incumbent assembly member for the area, together with some of the candidates, have been moving from house to house, joint to joint, just to inform residents that the election wouldn't come off today as scheduled.
Yes, I was ready to vote. As you can see, I was talking to the assembly member. But when I got here, I realized the voting was not going on. So I asked him and he said some of the voting materials were not ready, so they postponed it. So we have no option. We'll come. If tomorrow the voting will come on, we'll come and vote. So we didn't get information. I'm a bit disappointed though, because as I said, I was ready to vote, but when we came, the whole thing has changed. So I'm a bit disappointed, but all the same, we are willing to vote.
Anopa me sorry say me ba beto ma ba wo Sokoban because my contract kwa ngoma. Me ba beduru ha I say ehun hihye na anko yenti. Me sa ko nyame ya adoma e kira me sa ba beto aba no. Ai o makoma so say me beto aba ntie me ba beto. Emo mo aha me kakra che say ma say me bre because me nti krom ha ya ankasa metu akotra kwa ngoma na me ba. Nti ma say petru kakra ansa na me di aba. Enu na eye oha kakra wo mu because my am hihye say enkende nya abato na nka me nko ba bia kra na say metre fie na ma ye bidwedi kakra wo ho nenso na ma abato nti say metu moto na me de ba ba sine koto aba na aba ne sa.
The incumbent assembly member for the area, Kojo Buatin, fears that this development may affect the turnout.
Anope ye sorry say ye koto aba ama ye de ye polling agents ni nyina akọ ba bi ese ye ko police force o mu be hwa abato no so nyina aba enti call ne ba say free is returning officer no wo Sokoban electoral area ne frame me say ba bi aduro no pipesa say omode ba me to aba no committee for de na anya ready enti na say ye twen answer ema omuye omuni ema wie enti say for say ano de election no antimi amaso but yade ahaye adenti ahaye ne yese ye hwe system no mu a enema mu odene ne ya ye aduane edebe ma ye agents ene yisifo a ese ne ya hokeka ya boa campaign ya ya beduru sabre na yeti we no afiri mu ne de yade a aha adwene yi because enkrofo abedidi lie anopa a omo interest omo koto aba na atimi ko ba se prekope yes enti me kura na misusu say yisi no etimi de time ohu sama so kura no pa no etimi de van bi ba out no de be now so wo ba bi antimi anya ready no manfo etimi ekọ ba bi omko ba say ya ne ane na mu ayesa ye boa community no enti atin say yade a ahaye bibri fisi obi okura waje off ewo adwumam ewo ba bi owo ene oba abeto obi okura wo so wo nkran oba abeto aba wantimi ameto ena yen say school for no so kura wo school obi a wo school ya sere kwan say wo beto aba but oba na wa froka aba na ntimi anye ready ne de eyade a aha adwene bibri minia
Who say we betimi affect turnout no ana because even though they are coach na but betimi affect turnout.
Oh eyade betimi affecting number because of say obi anya dia wo koyi obesan return ni biem because obi catch him say waje off and next obeto aba but wantimi a off no ko bebre kura jikas ka kura sen free ho ko because ofiri ba bi na aba no wantimi a so obeba ji say onya keska enti omo say ji transportation every ho ansan watimi dia eden aba na menu ade ho no
I say dabe no ma catch am say beba
say amitie me returning officer o ha ne nkomo na oni medi ene dia o se nyame ya adoma eyi niema no be ye complete ne e kina e betimi ato aba no.
We will be monitoring developments in other electoral areas and update you subsequently. Ibrahim Abubakr, TV3 News, Sokoban.
And let's get that update from those other electoral areas now. Ibrahim Abubakr is joining us live via Zoom. Ibrahim, we heard you in conversations with some disappointed voters in Sokoban. Explain to us what they told you in Chi.
Well, What they are saying is that some of them had to tweak their plans for the day just to be able to include the voting as part of also their activity to ensure they exercise their civic rights. In fact, the second man who spoke in P was saying, even though he used to stay at Sokoban and registered there, but currently he stays far away from Sokoban, which is now at Mawuena. But because of the voting, he had to ride his motorbike all the way to Sokoban just to be able to vote, only to come and be told that voting will not take place. So now he has wasted his fuel, but he's eager to wait for a new day so that he will be able to also be able to participate in the election. In fact, the other man who is the current assemblyman for the area was also not happy. He said, as candidate, they have invested a lot preparing food for their agents and other things. They were not told. It was only this morning that the returning officer called to inform him. In fact, he was even expecting the EC officials to get a mobile van and go around to inform residents. Yet they left that job to them to do it. But in all, they are hoping that tomorrow they will be able to vote. But just a while ago, the Electoral Commission released a statement saying all the areas who couldn't vote today will rather vote on Thursday. In fact, this situation is not peculiar to Sokoban alone. In Ashanti region, we have well over 20 electoral areas that cannot take part of today's exercise because of issues surrounding voting material. As for instance, the voting materials were in, but there were issues with regards to the names. There were change of names of the candidates and also positioning of the candidates. So some of them had to protest, and eventually it was also rescheduled. So many areas also experienced similar challenge.
Ibrahim, and now that you mentioned, it just includes that the cancellations also affected about 20 areas in the eastern region as well. The Electoral Commission in a statement has said that it has rescheduled the elections to December 21st. But I see that you're at a polling center where voting is going on. Talk to us about how that is faring so far.
So, Keminni, this is a polling station. It's at Ejazongo in the Folkrom municipality. In fact, here voting started around 8 when all the materials arrived, in fact, on time, but they started around 8. And as you can see, everything is being done in an orderly manner. But the challenge of turnout is still there. As we speak, this polling station is expecting around 608 persons to come and vote. But currently, those who have come here are around below 150. They are hoping that hopefully maybe by 2-3, when the scorching sun has come down, people will come out to also vote. So the turnout is still a challenge, just like we witness in every year.
Thank you for the concise report. And Ibrahim Abubakr joined us from the Ashanti region. He had earlier brought us a report from SokobanDban, where it is one of 20 areas in the Ashanti region where the elections will not take place. As we were telling you earlier, similar number of electoral areas would also not experience the elections today. The Electoral Commission says that it has rescheduled the election in these areas due to technical challenges. The new date is 21st of December 2023.
We're staying on this, taking you to the central region where arrests for disruption, late start in some voting centers while election in some areas called off. That's the story of the district level election taking place as we've been touching base in the Ashanti region. Elections were slated to take place in 6,215 electoral areas, but that number has been reduced due to suspension of voting in some areas. The EC has issued a statement on the matter indicating most affected areas fall within the Ashanti and Eastern regions. Let's bring you some details on the statement from the EC. So the key points to note from that statement is that election has been suspended in electoral areas like we mentioned in the Ashanti and Eastern regions, the Electoral Commission is blaming the suspension on technical challenges. Polls in affected areas to take place on Thursday, December 21. Keminni was speaking to Ibrahim Abubakr on one of such instances in the Ashanti region. We're taking you to the central region because the police have picked up one person for allegedly disrupting the district assembly elections at the Philip Kwaku Center. Thomas Khan, he's there for us. Let's get a bit more details from him. Thomas, many thanks as always. How did this happen? What was his crime, if we can call it that? He was picked up by the police.
So this gentleman in question was picked up by the police when the EC officials, called in the police to come and arrest him or take him from the polling station. His crime, as you put it, was that the EC officials came with 400 ballot papers instead of 492. So he raised an objection that the ballot papers are supposed to be 492. So where is the 92? So he raised the objection that if the 92 was not added, there was no way he was going to allow the election to take effect. And that resulted in some confrontations, and the EC officials had to call in the police to take him away from the police, the polling station.
Thomas, remain stable for me and explain to us if the Electoral Commission provided any reasons to the persons who are coming to vote why out of 490 they brought 400 ballot papers.
Well, we tried to get to the EC to get some explanation. They wouldn't give an official statement, but just around the polling station, what they told us was that that is what was available, and then they were going to bring the rest later, so the election can go on. According to the agents there, they said the EC officials told them that if there was anything, any complaints to make, the agents had the opportunity to use the right channel to protest instead of going that confrontational. That is why they called in the police to pick him up.
It's quite unfortunate. The issue is that the gentleman raised an alarm. Those who are supposed to vote here are 494, 492, and only 400 ballot papers are brought to this center. So our gentleman raised an alarm that they should actually add the rest, assuming all of them are here to vote. Where would they get the rest of the ballot paper to cast their votes? It means they are attempting to disenfranchise people. Then the gentleman raised an alarm. The Electoral Commissioner called for his arrest. I mean, it's not done anyway. It's not done anyway because it was a genuine concern and it was a genuine reason the gentleman gave. As at now, he has been, arrested, and as we went there, they are writing a statement. We are hoping that he will be released as soon as possible.
And it is that hope that we'll seek to get a lot more from with regards to Thomas Khan, who's been providing those details. But earlier I had to speak to our colleague in the Central Region, Thomas Khan.
If you're just joining us, you should know that the Electoral Commission has postponed district-level elections for 20 districts in the Eastern Region alone. It will now be held on Thursday, 21st December 2023. Now, the EC says election materials are not set for the affected districts. Voters who turned out to vote at the various polling centers were disappointed at the turn of events.
Yes, we need not to say. Somebody has said, with what this one is doing, the people will bash the Electoral Commission. Yes. It took 7 o'clock, 8:40, and nothing is happening. So what do you think people will tell them? I don't. It's too much. It's too much. And nothing to is coming, even at all. They should call and tell them that, oh, maybe we are coming, or try to console the people that will come. But up to now, you've not even spoken to your people who are on the grounds and who are sitting here, are doing a human's job by telling the people not to be afraid that the thing will come. But up to now, nothing is happening. So what do you, even your people that you brought here, what are they thinking of? No, it's too much for us. It's too much. But, well, we don't know. So we are waiting.
Even I don't think that 20% we may have it. No. That 60, we will not get it. That's the truth. Because look at the time. Look at the time. If 7 o'clock, maybe a friend who is going to work will vote before going to work. But now, even you don't have the ballot papers. I don't know, even today as I'm standing here, I don't know that the election will go on. From my side of the view, or how I see things, I don't think we can vote today. If possible, 20% crowd, we won't get it.
Now, Godwin Asediba is monitoring the situation at Korle Kloti, and he's joining us with more on this. Godwin, good afternoon to you. What can you report from Ayawaso North, I'm told?
All right, Keminni, thank you very much. I am at the moment in Ayawaso North. Earlier, I was at Korle Kloti's asylum down, and where you could see that a number of people have not come to vote. Probably because today is a weekday, and when I got to speak to some of the constituents who had come to cast their votes, they made mention of the fact that the thing should have been either postponed to the weekend or a half working day where most of them could close early to come to the polling centers to be able to cast their vote. So generally there, they had about over 1,000 people who are expected to vote at that center, but as of 10:50 a.m., they had just about 54 people who had cast their votes in that particular electoral area. At the moment, I am at the Ayawaso North electoral area, and you can clearly see that there's low turnout here as well. There are 2 polling centers here, and at where specifically that I am is the IMS electoral area. Now, this...
Well, it appears that we lost that connection with Godwin. But Godwin, we'll leave you to it while you go across some of the electoral areas on this subject. Godwin Asediba joined us from Ayawaso North. You're here on News Central. My understanding is Godwin is back, but we ended that conversation. And, well, the Electoral Commission will no longer use indelible ink for polls, starting with the district-level elections. The ink has long been used as a means to check people who may attempt to vote more than once. Now the EC says it is not necessary because the adoption of biometric technology has made it virtually impossible for individuals to vote multiple times. This has, however, met stiff resistance from the opposition NDC, which argues the move would only compromise the integrity of the elections, but expressing confidence in the new system. The EC chairperson, Jean Mensah, is daring people to attempt to vote more than once.
The issue of indelible ink. The question is, when we were not doing biometric, we were basically using your face, your card, and to look at you. We look at your face and we say, this picture looks like you. The biometric technology makes it difficult for a person who has been verified and cast their vote to come a second time. So there is no need for indelible ink, because once you have been verified, it goes into the system and you cannot come back a second time. So you can try it if you wish at this election. Of course, it will be an electoral offense. It will be deemed as an electoral offense. But because of biometric technology, your facial features are recognized or your fingerprints is recognized and verified, you cannot go a second time. And you can try it, as I said, if you wish. And therefore, there's no need for indelible ink, which had been in place since 2012, since the beginning of 2012, when we were not using biometric. This is
That's Jean Mensah. She's the electoral commissioner. Let's get some reactions to this. And we understand some Ghanaians have opposed a decision by the Electoral Commission to exclude the use of the indelible ink during elections. My colleague Shaila Ali has been speaking to some of them. Is joining us right now with a bit more. Chris, you've been interacting with people. Exactly what have they been telling you?
Many have legitimate concerns and diverse opinions about the new decision taken by the Electoral Commission. Although some seem to understand the rationale behind the decision, they believe that the old way of using the indelible ink is the surest way to avoid multiple voting. We can take a listen to what some Ghanaians have been saying about this new move.
I don't think it will help, simply because what shows that you have voted? Actually, I won't support the idea of the new decision taken by the EC.
The ink is the only way for someone to be identified as in the person has voted. For instance, today I went to vote for the assembly member thing that they were doing, election. And when I got there after voting, I was expecting them to give me an ink for me to dip my finger in. But they said there is no ink. And I felt weird, because I'm wondering, okay, so if there is no ink, what shows that I voted?
If that's the reason, that even without the indelible ink, they can still capture you the way I have voted, then it's a good reason that they should just object the indelible ink. Yes.
The ink, if you use, it takes 3 days to 4 days before it comes out. But if you don't use the ink, you can go another way, another place to go and fit, because the system is slow. Before they realize you are voting twice, double voting. So if they use ink, it defines that you are voting, you are already voting from some place. What about if you go the system is running?
Thoughts of some Ghanaians there. Earlier I had to speak to Shaila Ali, my colleague. On that note, we're going for a break, but when we return, Ghana remembers, where we look back to the promise to make district level elections see to the election of MMDCs. Stay with us.
The luckiest *712#. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest *712#. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest *712#. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. Luck is everywhere for everyone. Nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers. You could be the luckiest. You could be the
Keep buying your luckiest ticket with *712#. As an individual, a group, an association, or even a community, and stand a chance of winning in the community draw or the ultimate draw on 23rd of December. Win millions on *712#.
Not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Your natural hair deserves the best treatment. And that's exactly what Maxim Twist and Kale Butter gives you. First, wash your hair thoroughly with Maxim shampoo and conditioner. Apply Maxim leave-in conditioner to make your hair soft. Then, apply a generous amount of Maxim Twist and Kale Butter. Then twist. Blow dry your hair for some minutes and add oil moisturizer to give it a great shine. With Maxim Twist and Kale Butter, you can untwist your hair and have it anyhow you want it. Available in cosmetic shops, Maxim Leave-In Conditioner and Maxim Twist and Kale Butter, because you're the max.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Dirty Rave in Ghana.
Get ready for the ultimate Afro enjoyment rave, Dirty Rave. Accra, we outside. Brace yourselves because this year Dirty Rave is shooting for the moon. Save the dates, December 27th. Get ready for an intergalactic rave experience. Performing live DJ mixes are Chop Live Sound System with DJ Edu and Don Easy, DJ Aruma, DJ Obi, AD DJ, Kelvin DJ, and Kojo Manuel. It's a star-studded party you don't want to miss. December 27th, Untamed Empire. Secure your spot at this cosmic celebration. Visit www.dirtyrave.com or use *725 *5555#. So mark your calendar, get your tickets, and prepare for liftoff. This out-of-the-world experience is sponsored by Bet Power, EcoBank, Club Here, Voltic, Yango, DDP, Turf, Holiday Inn, Wakanao, Untamed Empire, Beyond the Return, McDan, Atlas, Eliza Travels, Black A Restrooms, and Kozo.
Monday morning.
Yeah, you know what it do? Hey, children of Ghana, guess what? It's the National Kids Festival and Awards, powered by TV3. Yes, we are the one doing this. Guess what? Swagger Papa, I'm going to be there. But these days, you call me up off. And I respond, Metali Muslim. All the children of Ghana meet me at the Aviation Social Center. Yeah, on the 23rd of December. When you come, we are going to do the new dance. It's called Osha Pass. 1, 2, 3.
Kids Festival is sponsored by Tasty Tom, Heritage Christian College.
It's that time of the year again. 5 years of scintillating party experience for you at the 3FM All-White Party. Well, the 28th of December, we're bringing it back, rebranded, rekindled, reloaded, repackaged.
Invite your staff, come and give your best clients the most memorable experiences by buying a few tables. Join us at the 3FM All-White Party. Expect incredible live performances from top artists, Stoneboy, Manifest, KK Fusu, and Akwaba. Oh, and fire DJs on rotation.
I don't walk around in the Philippines with the Philistines. Them Dutch in any vicinity, I fulfill a dream.
Don't forget, it's the 28th of December. It's a Thursday. You don't want to miss out on this ultimate party experience.
The 3FM All-White Party is proudly sponsored by SokobanDban and powered by 92.7 3FM. The 3FM All-White Party on December 28th at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. We bring the party, you bring the vibe.
Shake your body, yeah. Ngami, for the journey.
It's time for Ghana Remembers. Now, it was one of the few promises of the new Patriotic Party while in a position that had a clearly fixed timeline. A promise to ensure metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives are elected instead of appointed by the president. The party's 2016 manifesto made the following pledge: oversee the direct election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, MMDCEs, within 24 months of election into office to coincide with the next district assembly elections in 2019, end of quote. The NDC also in its manifesto made a similar pledge as the two parties headed into the polls. The NDC in its own manifesto noted, implement the Constitution Review Commission's recommendation to have MMDCEs elected, end of quote. The NPP, as you know, won the 2016 polls, and we are currently in 2023 with just 1 year to the end of the president's tenure, and this is yet to happen. If you have done the math, you know that that's 8 years since the 2016 polls and more than 4 years behind its deadline to implement the elective process. Truth is, government undid any progress it made on fulfilling this promise. It laid 2 bills in Parliament to allow political parties the ability to sponsor candidates in local level elections. The other was to make the election of MMDCEs possible by taking away the president's powers to appoint them. Here's the thing, that bill was short-lived in Parliament. In December of 2019, the Attorney General withdrew the 2 bills, saying it needed to consult further after the opposition NDC disagreed with aspects of the bill that encourage partisan elections at the local level. It is unclear if the consultations have been ongoing the last 4 years, but the bills never returned to the lawmakers. That was the last time we heard about the promise. Wrong. Last year, President Akufo-Addo taunted the Ghanaian people again, this time committing to fulfill his promise once he gets the support of all who matter. Take a listen.
I've said it before, and I'll repeat it. I will continue to work for an extensive national consensus on this issue. And should such a consensus be attained for the repeal of Article 55, Clause 3 of the Constitution, and an agreement reached for political parties to participate in and sponsor candidates for election to district assemblies, at any point during my remaining tenure of office as President of the Republic, the matter will be brought back again to the front burner of our public discourse for the necessary action.
With barely 12 months to go, one cannot help but ask, will this pledge ever be fulfilled? And if there is a lack of consensus on making such elections partisan, why will government not take the first step towards making MMDCE selected as a first step while hoping for a broader backing for the possible partisan participation? I don't know, but Ghana remembers.
This afternoon, the Catholic Church has stirred controversy with its new directive allowing priests to bless same-sex couples. The Vatican on Monday said that Pope Francis had allowed priests to bless same-sex couples, countering a long-held position by the Church that it could not bless same-sex couples because it would undermine Church doctrine that marriage is only between a man and a woman. Years ago, the Vatican ruled it can't bless same-sex couples because it cannot bless sin. While in a new document from the Vatican Doctrinal Office, the Catholic Church says blessings can happen for same-sex couples. Let's just walk you through some of the details which are on your screens right now. Amongst the things notable is that they remain firm on traditional doctrine about marriage, that is, marriage between a man and a woman. Also, a Catholic priest can bless a gay or other unmarried couple as long as it is not a formal marriage blessing and does not give the impression that the Catholic Church is blessing the union as if it were a marriage. Then they go on to the conversation on blessing, that when people ask for a blessing, an exhaustive moral analysis should not be placed as a precondition for conferring it. For those seeking a blessing, they should not be required to have prior moral perfection. And so, further explanation as to this. It stirred up a lot of conversation on social media amongst many other things. And I don't know what your thoughts are on this particular one, but I mean, there's been explanations, and so it kind of makes sense now, because initially, when the news came out, was that you could bless the marriages, but now the understanding is that you bless the couple. And I mean, I don't know what you're.
You know what, I've seen a priest write-up from Ghana, and I thought that was a bit in a haste, because again, look, this is a sovereign country. If we have a different regulation, which is what Parliament is pushing, there'll be no point to worry about what Vatican says or Vatican doesn't say.
There's also make the argument as though that the narrative is beginning to shift and change from time to time. From a time past where it was a sin, now you can bless the couple. Where exactly is this headed towards? I mean,
also the Pope is really old, so if you know what I mean. Anyway, we've got to run. I'm Keminni Amanor.
I am Mawuena Egbeta. Many thanks for keeping company with us. We're back tomorrow.